Moving on to Forspoken demo. So there was a Forspoken demo on PS5, or what is this a PS5 exclusive? I'm pretty sure it is.
That's the exclusive, unfortunately.
Based on the fact that it barely, not I'm not gonna say it doesn't run well. It's not like the PS5 can't handle it. It's just like it's not. It needs some more work. It needs some more time in the oven. This game, honestly. Uh, but the first time I played it, I did not enjoy it. In fact, I was like upset. I was like, man, I'm not liking this. And I found everything overly cumbersome to use, and like the environment looks ugly. I still stand by that part, and some of it is still cumbersome. But it wasn't until my little brother came over, and we took turns playing it, and I started to have some fun. And I still think there are some major flaws, but it was a really fun experience overall. The combat is good. Switching between like the magic types and chaining different abilities together is very satisfying. Um, but switching between them can be frustrating, especially at first because I I didn't. You have to hold both bumpers to switch between magic types, and you have to hold each like bumper individually to switch between like different type of magics, different types of like abilities within that magic type. And but then I realized that if you click the D-pad, you can like quick select or like quick switch between magic types. But the thing about this game is that every button does something, and that sucks because it feels like there's too much. There's way too much like inputs that you have to do to like do things, and it just like it creates a barrier between like you and just having fun. Um, like one of the biggest negative for me is the UI. The UI is garbage, bro. They're trying. I mentioned this before, and before we got this demo in one of the trailers they showed, or one of the it was a gameplay demo, the very first one I believe, where they showed the UI, and I was like, I'm not liking this UI, and it is worse when you actually play the game. It's everything is in like a fisheye lens, so it's curved at the edge, and the text, everything, not even just the text, the icons, the text is so small, and there's no option to make it bigger. It's so hard to read, and like yeah, they just um there's for this game there's no such thing as accessibility. Sure, you can make the subtitles bigger. That's it. You can't see anything. The health bar and all that stuff is really small in the corner, like uncomfortably small. It's very strange. Yeah, it's just hard to look at. Visually, the game, like I said, it's boring. It's big. It's your paint by numbers. Big, empty, realistic open world. The enemy design is not. There weren't too many enemies in this gameplay specifically, but they weren't too interesting. Honestly, like the combat is the best part. There was barely any story in this demo, so I didn't get a feeling for that. But the combat is the best part. The combat is genuinely fun, and when you talk about how like this is like the Doctor Strange game of your dreams, this will be the Doctor Strange games of your dreams. Because with only two magic types, I was having a lot of fun with it. And there's like at least two or three other type of magic types. Because what I was using the red magic and the purple magic, which is the purple magic is the earth magic, the red magic is obviously the fire magic. And then there's the green magic, which is lightning, and the blue magic, which is water. And those weren't in this, so I can only imagine how much more fun it is with those two. Yeah. The parkour. The parkour is fun. Um, there's just I don't know. I wish you could either. There's probably a way to upgrade how fast you move. Maybe you could potentially move faster because if you can move faster, it would be fun. It would be more fun. Um, but yeah. Otherwise, there were certain magic abilities I didn't have, like the surfing ability that means I couldn't be able to fully give an opinion on that. But the little bit I had, it was decently fun. But yeah, combat's fun. Um, Everything else, not so much. This is the type of game like a Sonic Frontiers where I want it to do well so that we can get a sequel because in a sequel I feel like they can make it better. But also, this is another game made by a subsidiary of Square Enix, Luminous Productions. And I have a similar problem with this that I have with Guardians of the Galaxy, which is made by Crystal Dynamics, which is no longer owned by Square Enix. I believe they sold them. Is like there's like the main Square Enix team, like one of their creative business units, that worked on Final Fantasy VII Remake. there's something that their smaller team, or not necessarily smaller, but other teams under them could learn from that game. Then I think they can learn from the Guardians of the Galaxy, switching between characters as well as being able to command them to do things when you aren't playing as that character. And then also when it comes to Forspoken, what they can learn from Final Fantasy VII is how to manage menus, because the menu, like the in combat menu, like when you press a button, time slows down, and you select your magic. I think they need to optimize that in a sequel, or I don't know if they have enough time to optimize it for this game, but in a sequel for sure. But as a graphic designer and who wants to get into UI and user interface and user experience design and use that to make my way into the game industry, looking at this UI was frustrating. But you see anybody play it?
No, I haven't at all. I didn't even know the demo was out until you mentioned it, and I completely forgot the demo was out. And then you just mentioned it now, and I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, any thoughts on what I said?
We tend to have widely different tastes and opinions in games, so I'm not taking that as much of anything, but no.
Our opinions in games are so different, it's weird. Because we have similar opinions in everything else but games. Games is where we differ heavily most of the time. I mean, we have a lot of, there are a lot of games that we like Dishonored and stuff like that. But most other games, I feel like when it comes to open world games specifically, you're more into that RPG type stuff, like The Witcher and the most recent Assassin's Creed games, where I don't like that type of stuff.
I love RPGs. RPGs are the best. I need a good RPG.
But yeah,